Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I've missed you guys and I'm very sorry for my long absence. If you checked our community, you know why I've been so busy. Yeah, so I'm back again, and this is the continuation of our last DIY. The last DIY was all about the pattern drafting, but today's video is going to be the making of this bag. Now, if you remember vividly, I said I'm considering using fiber or kariboard for this project. At the end of the day, I decided that I'm going to be using fiber. Now, this is a fiber. This is not Mako 2. This is fiber. Fiber is different from Mako 2. Yeah, this is Mako 2. You can see there's a huge difference between these two. Okay, another thing I want us to take note of is, in the pattern drafting, I said we are going to be using 20.6 inches for the length of the side. That's on the Mako 2, but I think I made a mistake. It's supposed to be 19 inches. The reason is because the measurement of the side is not the main body itself. It's the frame, which is this one. We are supposed to measure the inner part of the frame and not the outer part. Okay, so if you measure the outer part, you will have 20.6, but if you measure the inner part, you will have 19 inches. I hope that makes sense. So this is 19 inches long and 2.5 inches wide. Kindly check out the pattern drafting video to understand better. So in this video, I'm not going to be using kariboard. I'm going to be using fiber. So this will just serve as my pattern in case I want to remake the bag. Okay, so here with me I have my fiber, I have my Mako, I have my chipboard, which is both for the frame and the lining part. We are getting there. We explain what I want to use this for. Yeah, I have my beads, I have my bag chain. I always find it difficult to remember what this is called. Okay, let's call it copper wire. I have my hook and other materials currently not here, but as we proceed you will see them in the video. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly, just to make this video short and not too long, I'm going to quickly wrap this with my African print. I'm going to be using this particular African print. Okay, this is the print I decided to use for today's project. So I will quickly wrap this with my African print, and this as well as, and this one too. I'm going to wrap this with my African print as well. I'm supposed to wrap this too, but I think I'll wrap one and I'll show you how to wrap the other one. This is for the lining part. We are coming to that, so let's roll it. Okay guys, as you can see, I've wrapped these with my African print fabric. This is the frame, this is what the back looks like, and this is the body. Okay, so this is the side. We'll come back to the side. In the meantime, I'm just going to show you how to wrap the frame. So once you've applied gum on the chipboard, all you have to do is place it on the wrong side of your African print fabric, just like this. And you want to make sure it's the same shape. You place it the way the shape is. You don't like not bending it to the other side or something. So just place it the exact way the shape is. Then you're going to cut off the excess, but you're going to leave little allowance to fold it over. So I'm just going to cut it and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like once you've cut it out. I left allowance on the outer part and the inner part. Okay, I'm just going to notch this place a little bit and carefully. Next thing I'm going to do is to apply gum all the way around, just to fold the other side. Okay, so as you can see, I've applied gum all the way around. The next thing is to fold this according to the shape of the chipboard. Don't bend the chipboard, fold it according to the way the chipboard is. So the only part we are going to be folding from the allowance is this outer part. You're not going to fold the inner part, because that's where you're going to be attaching the side to the frame. So I'm just going to fold the edges and make sure you are not bending the chipboard while doing this. Just fold according to the shape of the chipboard. So as you can see, we have done just that. So this is what the frame look like. We have our two frames ready. I'm just going to put this aside. Now back to the side of the bag. Before fixing the lining, we need to fix our rivet. The rivet, that's where you're going to be connecting the chain as well as the bead. So I'm going to fix it, as in like take note of the midpoint. From the midpoint, I'm going to fix it by 1 inch or half an inch, whichever one is okay for you. So I'm going to fix it by let's just say I'm going to fix it by 1 inch. So I'm going to be fixing the rivet by 1 inch from the midpoint and 1 inch from here, from the midpoint as well. So I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, as you can see, we fixed our rivet, as you can see. So the next thing, we can fix our lining. And another thing you need to take note of, if you look at the side of the bag very well, you will see that I did not fold the edges. I left it like this. Reason it because this is where we are going to be connecting the frame to sew. We are getting to that. Okay, the next thing to do is to fix our magnetic snap on the front part of the bag. So I'm going to be fixing it by, I could come up by half an inch, or I could come up by 1 inch, whichever one is okay. So all I need to do is take note of the midpoint. To remember the measurement of the width of our bag is 8 inches. So I'm going to take note of the midpoint, which is 4 inches. 4 inches is around there, right? So from 4 inches, from the midpoint of 4 inches, I'm going to come up by 1 inch. Now this is where I'm going to be fixing the magnetic snap. Okay, so I'm going to fix the magnetic snap, that this part of the magnetic snap. I'm going to be fixing it right here. I'll do that off camera. Magnetic snap has been fixed. Now we can apply we can fix our lining on this front part as well as this side part. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how to fix your lining on the body part. Okay, so to fix the lining on the body part, you take the body and you're going to trace out the exact shape of the body. This is the back, this is the flap. So you're going to trace it on your velvet. I'm using velvet for the lining, so I'm tracing it directly on my velvet. And you just trace it all the way around, just like I'm doing. I'm using scraps from my last bulk orders. So okay, so you can see once you've traced it out, the next thing you want to do is to take your chipboard. You're going to apply gum on this chipboard, and you are going to take it here and place it according to the shape of what you have traced. Can you see that? So this is how it's going to be. Once you've applied gum, you just place it like this. Okay, so let's do that off camera. Okay guys, so I've applied gum. I'm just going to place it where we've traced, like I'm doing right now. So this is what it's going to look like once you've done that. Okay, the next thing you want to do is to leave allowance. Just go ahead and cut it all the way around, and make sure you leave allowance to fold it over, because you don't want that part to have any kind of rough edges. So that's for that part. Another thing you want to do is to take note of where the top base is, because the top base is also going to be folded. So you are going to take note of the top base. This is where our top base is. Okay, this is where the top base is. So it means you are going to be leaving allowance from here all the way round. So let's cut that off camera. Okay, so as you can see, I've cut it all the way around, leaving allowance. I left this excess just to be on the safer side. You're going to understand why I left the excess eventually. So I left excess, that the allowance. I left the allowance from the top base all the way around to the other part of the top base. The next thing you want to do is to apply gum directly after this line and on top of the chipboard as well, down to the other side of the top base. Once you've done that, you're going to be folding it over. So once you've done that, you're going to be folding it over like this. Okay, you're going to be folding it over. You can notch this place so that the folding will be very easy for you. So you just notch this place a little bit. Okay, that's the top base because of the curve. So you apply gum all the way around. Once you've applied the gum, you're going to fold it over directly on the line. According to the line, you're going to fold it. Okay, so I'm going to do this off camera as well. Sorry guys. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've folded all the edges from the top base to the other part of the top base. Okay, so this is what it should look like when you want to place it. This is the flap. You place it like this on the bag. This is what it should look like. But before we proceed, we need to fix our magnetic snap. Now if you remember, our flap measurement and our front pattern, the measurements are equal. There was no minus this or minus that. It was the same measurement of 7.5 inches. So in the other part of our bag, which is this part of the bag, you can see that I used 1 inch to fix the magnetic snap. So I'm going to use that exact same 1 inch to fix the magnetic snap from the midpoint. Midpoint is 4 inches, and we are coming in by 1 inch. So 1 inch is here. All we need to do is take note of the midpoint, and the midpoint is what is 4. So this is where we are going to be fixing our magnetic snap, which is this other part of the magnetic snap. So we are going to be marking it from here and fixing it from the front. I'm going to be doing this off camera as well. So all done. We are done with this. We can now fix it here, just like this. You can fix it on the main body. So back to the side of the bag, the next thing we are going to do is to we are going to be fixing our lining on the front and on the side. Of course, I'm going to do that off camera because I don't want this video to be too long. So I'll do that off camera. Before you fix the front, ensure you fold, just so it will be neat. Just fold the tip of the lining. Then after applying gum, you just place it directly like this. Same thing for this side. So guys, we fixed our lining with the top folded. Same thing with the side folded as well. So we are going to be trimming off this excess lining. You want to do it carefully so you don't cut the ankara. So you just trim off the excess lining from the side of your front pattern. Okay, so we've covered the main part too with velvet, that the lining. The next thing we are going to trim off now from this top bit, we are going to trim off this excess fabric. This is now the back, this is the flap. Okay, so we are going to trim this off. Okay, we are good to go. We've trimmed off all the excess. We've done the same thing at the front, so we are good to start coupling our bag. Now for the coupling of the bag, this is what we are going to do. Let's start with the side of the bag. Okay, you're going to be placing your frame to the side of the bag. This is how you're going to place it. From this top part, you're going to be sewing. You're going to sew it from the edge of your mark hole. You can see the edges, right? So you're going to be placing it from there, and that way you're going to be sewing it from. So I'm clipping this plate down. This is how you're going to be sewing it, like this. Can you see what I'm showing you? This is how you're going to sew it. You're going to start from the top part and start sewing it down. If you find it difficult to sew it, just apply your machine oil so the needle won't get sticky. So you just sew it all the way until you get to the end of this other part, which is also going to be placed like this. I can clip this down. Once you're done with this part, you go to the other side and you're going to do this exact same thing that you've done here by placing it and sewing it all the way around. If you don't understand this process, I already have a video where I explain how to join frame to the side of your bag. Check out this video, link will be in my description box, so check it out so you can understand what we are doing here. In the meantime, I'm going to sew this off camera, and once I'm done with this, I'm also going to stop stitch this place, which is the front part of the bag. I'm going to stop stitch it as well. So once I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, as you can see, I've already sewn the top part of the bag, and for the side I've joined the frame. You can see I've joined the frame, and I did not sew the chipboard. Okay, so I just sew according to the way I explained. So after that, the next thing to do is to trim off. You're going to trim off, look at it, you're going to trim off the Ankara part now. You trim it carefully so you don't cut the velvet, that the lining. Just trim off the Ankara part on both sides. Once you've trimmed it off, the next thing you will do is to apply gum. You're going to apply gum on this frame part now. After trimming off those excess Ankara, just apply gum. Once you've applied gum, the next thing you will do is to fold the gum part down to the velvet part by the time you've trimmed it out. So let's do that. Okay, so after applying gum, what you're going to do is to turn this frame to the other side, which is the velvet part. You're going to fold the frame to the velvet part after applying the gum. Okay, do this on the other side as well. So once you've done that, the excess velvet left, you're going to trim it off. So I'm going to trim off all this excess velvet that is out. Okay, so now I've trimmed off all the excess lining. The next thing I'm going to do is to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm now going to stop stitch this place and here as well. So as you can see, we've sewn the top parts already. The next thing we are going to do is back to the body of the bag. We are going to be sewing this. Before you do that, you can apply gum. Before sewing it, you can apply gum on the side as well as this side, so that when you are sewing it, it won't shift in the process. Apply gum here as well. Let me just quickly do that off camera. Okay guys, so once you've applied gum, you can see I didn't pack so much gum. I just applied little quantity at the edges of the body and the front part of the bag. So I'm just going to take this now, and from here I'm going to place it together. You can see the frame is taking effect, so don't make the mistake of cutting the frame to be straight. If you follow the right instruction, you will get it right. So I'll just clip it down there. I'll still come here and I'll clip it down here as well. Then we go all the way around. and go all the way around and clip it in the process. Okay, so you just clip all the way around, and be careful with the gum so it's not too sticky or prevents you from clipping it. So you can see what it look like once you fix the frame. So I'll quickly fix the other side so you can see what it looks like. So first thing first is to clip here. You have to do it in a way that you see what you're doing so you don't clip it wrongly. So first thing first is to clip it from here like this. Just clip that place down, go to the other side and do the same thing. Can you see what I'm doing? So you just clip it from that place and clip it down. Okay, then go all the way around. The reason why I had to fix that gum first is so it won't shift once I start sewing. Very important, because by the time it starts shifting you end up making mistake or jumping stitches and all of that. So you put the gum just to secure it together before you go ahead and take it to your sewing machine. So this is it. So this is what it looks like. Can you see it? It's really beautiful. It's coming out really nice. I can't wait to see the outcome. Okay guys, so you can take your hammer and just hammer this blade down just to ensure it's as flat as possible. I'm going to do that now. Then I'll take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew it all the way around. I will sew the up part as well all the way around. I'll do the same thing here, sew it all the way around. So I'm going to do that now. So guys, we are done with the coupling of the bag. Yeah, you can see how neat it is. Don't you just like this bag? To think I was doubting if I got the pattern. You know, we altered the measurement with the height. I love this bag. See how neat it is. This is the front. I like the fact that we actually switched to fiber because it made the bag really very neat. You can see how this side of the bag is. So the next thing we need to do is to fix the bead. Remember, the bag has bead, so we are going to be fixing the bead to the bag. I don't know the quantity of bead that we're going to be using, neither do I know the measurement of the length. So I'm take my tape and do an estimated measurement. So as you can see in the picture, the bead is not too long, it's not too short, it's just perfect to be used as the handle. So I'm just going to measure like this. So what I have here is 12 inches, so we are going to be using 12 inches. I'm still considering whether we should use copper wire or this monofilament. This I think they call it fish wire or something like that. But okay, for this DIY, let's just go ahead and use it. If it doesn't come at 9, then I'll suggest you use the fish wire, what people normally use for bead making and all of that. So this is what I'm going to be using, and the measurement we got there was 12 inches. So I'm just going to add like 1 more inch to it to fold it over when we are done. So I'm going to cut this out now. Okay, so now at the end of the day, the size I'm using is not really so big. It's just more like a normal size or something. So from the hook I folded the copper wire together like this, then I adjusted this bead down to the extreme end just like this. So I'm going to add more bead until I'm satisfied with the number of beads I want. Okay, so I think this is perfect enough to use for the bag. The copper wire is not really not a bad idea. I think it's actually nice. It's actually nice. So to get into the end, what I'm going to do is I'm still going to fold the copper wire like this. Make sure it's tight. There should not be excess space in between. To make sure it's tight, you can twist first. On twisting, all you have to do is just pass it through the hole, just like this. Just pass it through the hole, just like this. Okay, so once you pass it through the hole, you know you're good to go, and your wire is ready. You just take this and hook it from the side. You just hook it from the side like this. So this is it. That's what it should look like. You can actually use it as a handle as well. That's the amazing part of it. Then you attach the chain, that's the main chain, to your bag. This is so beautiful, guys. I'm glad it came out really nice. You can see how neat it is. I love this bag. I'm definitely going to call this a new designer lot. This is just so beautiful. So thanks so much, guys, for watching my video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm begging you to subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at official Ted and Latech Creation. I will see you in my next video. If you're finding it difficult to get the materials for production, all you have to do is send a DM to @craft with Ted, and we will get back to you. Thank you. Bye.